No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he's not the same man. All things come into being by conflict of opposites. Time is a game played beautifully by children. Life has the name of life, but in reality it is death. One would never discover the limits of soul, should one traverse every road so deep and measured as it possess. Nothing endures but change. If you do not expect the unexpected, you will not find it, for it is hard to be sought out and difficult. Much learning does not teach understanding. War is father of all, and king of all. He renders some gods, others men. He makes some slaves, others free. Man's character is his fate. Dog bark at what they don't understand. We are most nearly ourselves when we achieve the seriousness of the child at play. Opposition brings concord. Out of discord comes the fairest harmony. Wisdom is the oneness of mind that guides and permeates all things. Everything flows, nothing stands still. It is in changing that we find purpose. Even what those with the greatest reputation for knowing it all claim to understand and defend are but opinions. Abundance of knowledge does not teach men to be wise. 'Tis not too late to seek a newer world. The content of your character is your choice. Day by day, what you choose, what you think and what you do is who you become. Fire lives in the death of earth, air lives in the death of fire, water lives in the death of air, and earth in the death of water. Give me beauty in the inward soul. May the outward and the inward man be at one. Those who love wisdom must investigate many things. Eyes and ears are bad witnesses to men having barbarian souls. There is no greater evil one can suffer than to hate reasonable discourse. The sun is new each day. History is a child building a sandcastle by the sea, and that child is the whole majesty of man's power in the world. The soul is dyed the color of its thoughts. May the inward and outward man be as one. Realize that war is common and justice is strife, and that all things come into being and pass away through strife. Thinking is a sacred disease and sight is deceptive. An unconsidered life is not one worth living. Men forget where the way leads, and what they meet with every day seems strange to them. We should not act and speak like men asleep. In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer. I had only a little time left and I didn't want to waste it on God. Man is the only creature who refuses to be what he is. Since we're all going to die, it's obvious that when and how don't matter. Nobody realizes that some people expend tremendous energy merely to be normal. There is not love of life without despair about life. Live to the point of tears. Man is always prey to his truths. Once he has admitted them, he cannot free himself from them. But in the end, one needs more courage to live than to kill himself. If something is going to happen to me, I want to be there. You know what charm is? A way of getting the answer yes without having asked any clear question. Some people talk in their sleep. Lecturers talk while other people sleep. The only way to deal with an unfree world is to become so absolutely free that your very existence is an act of rebellion. I looked up at the massive signs and stars in the night sky and laid myself open for the first time to the benign indifference of the world. I may not have been sure about what really did interest me, but I was absolutely sure about what didn't. Every act of rebellion expresses a nostalgia for innocence and an appeal to the essence of being. Blessed are the hearts that can bend, they shall never be broken. I would rather live my life as if there is a God and die to find out there isn't, than live my life as if there isn't and die to find out there is. Autumn is a second spring when every leaf is a flower. What is called a reason for living is also an excellent reason for dying. When I look at my life and its secret colors, I feel like bursting into tears. There is scarcely any passion without struggle. Fiction is the lie through which we tell the truth. It is the job of thinking people not to be on the side of the executioners. To be happy, we must not be too concerned with others. Freedom is nothing but a chance to be better. I opened myself to the gentle indifference of the world. The truth is that everyone is bored, and devotes himself to cultivating habits. The purpose of a writer is to keep civilization from destroying itself. Idleness is fatal only to the mediocre. In order to understand the world, one has to turn away from it on occasion. The most important thing you do every day you live is deciding not to kill yourself. I used to advertise my loyalty, and I don't believe there is a single person I loved that I didn't eventually betray. Beauty is unbearable, drives us to despair, offering us for a minute the glimpse of an eternity that we should like to stretch out over the whole of time. We all carry within us places of exile, our crimes, our ravages. Our task is not to unleash them on the world. It is to transform them in ourselves and others. Where there is no hope, it is incumbent on us to invent it. True knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. The awake share a common world, but the asleep turn aside into private worlds. The people must fight on behalf of the law as though for the city wall. The meaning of the river flowing is not that all things are changing so that we cannot encounter them twice, but that some things stay the same only by changing. As to marriage or celibacy, let a man take which course he will be sure to repent. Other men are unaware of what they do when they are awake, just as they are forgetful of what they do when they are asleep. Let us not make random conjectures about the greatest matters. What was scattered gathers. What was gathered blows away. It is difficult to fight against anger, for a man will buy revenge with his soul. Stupidity is better kept a secret than displayed. The track of writing is straight and crooked. To God all things are fair and good and right, but men hold some things wrong and some right. One man is worth 1,000 if he is extraordinary. Because it is so unbelievable, the truth often escapes being known. Who will hide from the fire that does not set? Never trust a friend who tells you that you are wise. The oneness of all wisdom may be found, or not, under the name of God. If all things were turned to smoke, the nostrils would distinguish them. The immortals are mortal, the mortals immortal, each living in the other's death and dying in the other's life. Change is the only constant in life. What allows us to be human is something demonic. For souls it is death to become water, and for water death to become earth. Water comes into existence out of earth, and soul out of water. For the best men choose one thing above all, immortal glory among mortals. But the masses stuff themselves like cattle. Gods live past our meager death. We die past their ceaseless living. When they are born, they wish to live and to meet with their dooms, or rather to rest, and they leave children behind them to meet with their dooms in turn. The way upward and the way downward are the same. Let us not concur casually about the most important matters. What is not yet known, those blinded by faith can never learn. I love life. That's my real weakness. I love it so much that I am incapable of imagining what is not life. You can't create experience, you undergo it. If we believe in nothing, if nothing has any meaning, and if we can affirm no values whatsoever, then everything is possible and nothing has any importance. I know simply that the sky will last longer than I. A man devoid of hope and conscious of being so has ceased to belong to the future. And never have I felt so deeply at one and the same time so detached from myself and so present in the world. The evil in the world comes almost always from ignorance, and goodwill can cause as much damage as ill will if it is not enlightened. For if there is a sin against life, it consists perhaps not so much in despairing of life as in hoping for another life and in eluding the implacable grandeur of this life. She was wearing a pair of my pajamas with the sleeves rolled up. When she laughed, I wanted her again. It is better to burn than to disappear. Peace is the only battle worth waging. A man is more a man through the things he keeps to himself than through those he says. After a while, you could get used to anything. I should like to be able to love my country and still love justice. The need to be right, the sign of a vulgar mind. I don't want to be a genius. I have enough problems just trying to be a man. The absurd is the essential concept in the first truth. Integrity has no need of rules. There are crimes of passion and crimes of logic. The boundary between them is not clearly defined. Happiness and the absurd are two sons of the same earth. They are inseparable. If a man is afraid of losing his woman, it means he truly loves her. There is no sun without shadow, and it is essential to know the night. Much unhappiness has come into the world because of bewilderment and things left unsaid. I realized then that a man who had lived only one day could easily live for 100 years in prison. He would have enough memories to keep him from being bored. He who despairs of the human condition is a coward, but he who has hope for it is a fool. A man's work is nothing but this slow trek to rediscover, through the detours of art, those 2 or 3 great and simple images in whose presence his heart first opened. Quote,